All right, my chess champions, welcome back to Chess with Cody, where I help you become an intermediate chess player. Today we're doing another subscriber game. So this is a game from a player rated around 400 ELO, a person named Ray, who I met on Reddit, and we're going to take a look at two games today. So first game was defined by a queen blunder. So some themes of this game are: number one, pretty good development in the early game. Number two, blunder. So there was a blunder in the game. And then number three, make sure we keep checking for our opponent's threats. So these are kind of the main themes. Let's jump in. Actually, before we start, if you guys have any games you want me to review and make a video out of, make sure to send me an email at chesswithcody@gmail.com. I need more games for these episodes. Okay, so we are black and it's a 10-minute game. Let's see what happens. Queen's pawn. Queen's gambit. Okay, good so far. Fighting for the center, getting the pieces out. Doing our chores, as I like to say. And ideally, we like to keep continuing the development, and then fairly quickly, we'd like to castle. All looks great. In theory, this is not ideal from white because it kind of yields control of these central squares, I think is the philosophy. I was reading about this in Logical Chess recently, the book Logical Chess. But at this level, totally fine. And this is great, getting the queen off the back rank, getting all the pieces out. We'll look in a second. This probably isn't the most ideal placement for the queen, but at this level, totally reasonable, good move. Here, I would probably already castle, but yeah, getting the knight out. Again, Ray's doing a great job here, getting all the pieces out. The queen is off the back rank, ready to castle, ready to get the rooks on good files. Everything here looks good. Now white has a little pressure. So the knight is pinned, and white is threatening to bring this knight in with added pressure on future moves. So I imagine Ray might have seen this and gotten a little bit flustered by it. Additionally, I think Ray saw, they might have some sort of forking ideas. And in this position, first they tried to kick the bishop away, which makes sense. I support it. And now they played knight to b4. And yeah, this is just a blundering the queen, unfortunately. But that's okay, guys. Blunders happen at every level, especially when you're a beginner, and it's just part of chess. And I try to just laugh it off when it happens. Like, I can't believe I just did that. And, just go from there. We could probably take with the knight here so that we can still castle. And white delivers a check, which actually is now forking the knight. So best move here would be knight back, ideally. It's still a problem because this knight comes in, but blocking makes sense. You're, solidifying your shield kind of, but it does drop the knight. But I mean, from here, guys, the game is over, really. So, this game was defined by this blunder, and that's okay. Ray did a good job positionally getting all the pieces out, and this was just a little bit complicated, and then it kind of blundered the queen here. So it is tricky, though, after this bishop backs up. Like, this knight move is pretty annoying. So, like, if we castle, knight comes in, pressuring here. If you move away, then white's winning a pawn. So you kind of have to, like, go queen here, which is awkward because they can kind of just leave the tension. If you ever try to do that, let's say white castles, if you ever try to, like, kick the bishop away, they can just take with en passant. And now they really have a lot of pressure here. Actually, I think you'd be losing the knight basically now. You don't have a way to defend it adequately. So yeah, it is complicated. And that's why I said earlier in the game, if we go back a few moves here, I think this setup is not quite right for this opening. Again, this is a much higher level idea, but just to explain why Ray kind of got into trouble here. If it were me, I probably would have gone knight b d7 castled, and then like c6 and like queen c7 in no particular order, but I would go for like that setup. So for like from here, I'd probably go like c6. Let's say white keeps making moves. Maybe I castle. They make moves. I go knight bd7, and I go queen here. And then my plan eventually would be to make this e5 break, or maybe to push b6, but probably e5. You want to fight for like the center control. But yeah, here you can see there's just a better harmony of the pieces, and white doesn't have this like bishop move and pressure. And yeah, it's a little more cohesive. This is in line with some things I learned from the book Logical Chess Move by Move by Irving Chernev, which I just finished reading. A really excellent book if you're like 1,000 to 1,600 rated, really great. So yeah, that's some higher level stuff. But overall, I think Ray did a really great job developing all the pieces here. Like I fully support this. And you know, sometimes we're just going to make a one move mistake like this, and that's how it goes. One thing to help with this is to really visualize your move before you play it, and ask yourself, okay, I'm thinking I'm going to go knight here. What can white play in response? And really drill that in your head to ask yourself, what can my opponent play in response? It took me a really long time to like ingrain that within myself, to do that on every single move. But over time, as you do it more and more, you'll get better and better at it. And you'll see like, oh, wait, no, they can come get my queen. And it's not going to work every time, guys, but it will help. So let's do a quick review of this game. But actually, I just realized I forgot to show you guys the finish to game one. So let's take a look. It actually had a really great finish by the opponent. So yeah, queen comes in check, block, take, attacking the queen. Queen infiltrates with check. Absolutely savage, because the king can't move up as a result of the pawn. So king has to move back, and then white takes one rook and then takes the other rook. Oof. Rough day at the office here. Check. Knight's coming in now. Check. Check. And the final move of this game, an iron cross. What I call an iron cross checkmate. Savage. Savage. Beautiful ending. Well done by white. Ray, there's nothing more you could do here. The game was already over, basically. And you can just appreciate the beauty and the elegance of your opponent's final move. So let's do a quick review of this game. So like I said, the themes were good development in the beginning. We just had a one move blunder. Something to help with that is to check for our opponent's threats. So here are my solutions and recommendations. Some mental habit. Look for opponent's threats. Visualize your move like you're going to play it, and check that position. See, like, does my opponent have something they can do against me? That's really huge. Number two is just keep playing chess, guys. Blunders are going to happen. Keep watching educational videos. Those are really great bang for buck at getting better at chess and helping your grip on the board, as GM Jesse Cry calls it. And you can also do puzzles for like 5 minutes every day. And that's very important for neuroplasticity, to do things frequently, like on a daily basis. So a little bit of chess every day is better than a lot of chess like one day a week in general. And lastly, just like a mindset note, that blundering is part of chess. We just got to laugh at it when it happens. If you want to see me making blunders, you can check out the Blitz series I did on my channel called Brush Off the Dust Like a 1700. I make quite a few blunders along the way there, even blundering my queen when I'm like, 1500, 1600. So it still happens to everyone, guys. But now let's talk about Ray a little more specifically. These are, general comments. So we messaged a little bit. So Ray's like around 400 ELO. He said his chess habits, I mostly do puzzles consistently every single day for 3 months straight, but I just stopped. Sometimes I watch Chess Bra and Anna Cramling. And I asked Ray, what caused you to stop? And he said, well, I wanted to improve at chess. I was super obsessed during those months, but I lost a lot of games in a row. And so my attention was on other things, and I just put chess as a whole to the side. So maybe that sounds like some of you, but this is where Ray's coming from. So he's already doing puzzles, which is great. So, you know, it sounds like he's already doing like good stuff, but you just got to keep doing it, and eventually you will get better. But generally, let's talk about mindset of like, okay, I want to get better at chess. First of all, I think the focus should be like, I want to have fun with chess, because that's what's led me to keep playing the game and getting better over time. And my top peak ratings have always been after a time of exploration. So that's why bullet point number 2, focus on exploring the game, learning more because you're curious about it and you love the game, less so than like, oh, I really need to like rise the rating ladder. I just find it's partly it makes us more resilient. So let's talk about the last bullet point. If you hyper focus on rating too much, it can be counterproductive. So for example, if you are really focused with your rating, there's going to be natural ups and downs, and it can be hard to handle that sometimes. And you might get frustrated and stop playing. And that makes you less resilient as a chess player. If your goal is chess improvement, if you're too focused and you get frustrated and you stop playing, that's a risk to your long-term chess improvement. So there's a little bit of a paradox here, but I think focusing on fun, focusing on exploring the game, focusing on learning from great teachers on YouTube is the way to go. So Ray, you know, take whatever resonates there. We didn't talk too extensively, but those are just some of my thoughts. Okay, game 2 was a little bit different. So here there were some positional mistakes, I think, in this game. So we're gonna take a look at this. It's gonna be very educational. It's gonna be great for all of you guys. So themes. Main thing, number 1, I think, Ray, you should focus on a little more efficient development in this game. So develop the whole army, get all the pieces in the attack. Try not to move the same piece twice. In this case, we actually moved it 3 times. Just because that's less efficient, let's try to get the other pieces in. And try not to block central pawns with pieces, because it kind of restricts our ability to fight for the center and to make space for our pieces to develop. And also with this game, there's a bit of, check for opponent's threats. Okay, game number 2. Now this was a 15-minute game. In general, guys, 15 minutes I think is the sweet spot of, it gives you enough time to really think and focus on the game and learn without being too long that, you know, it takes too long to play a game. So I think 15 minutes is the best time control, the 15-10 for most people. Okay, so Ray starts off with queen's pawn. And our opponent immediately offers the e-pawn. Notice this pawn is not defended, so we should definitely just take here in the future. I think this might actually be like a gambit thing, but yeah, the computer says just take the pawn. So next time, Ray, we can just take here. Not a problem. After Ray's actual move, they could maybe push, they could take and like solve their problem. So that's why taking is better. And again, here we can still take and win a free pawn. Now here's the first move of this game that I really have a note about. So question for Ray, if you want to let us know down in the comments, what was your thinking on moving this pawn back? Moving this bishop back? In general, this is really not a good move, to be honest. Let's go over the reasons why. First of all, the bishop is doing a good job here where it is. So we have a nice pin on this knight. There's no need to move it again. Instead, let's maybe get this knight out, or you might want to do the c-pawn here and then this knight out. But let's get this bishop out. Let's castle. We want to continue facilitating the development. So by moving this piece twice in the opening, we're delaying the development of these other pieces. So that's in general why moving it again is not good. But additionally, we've now blocked a central pawn here. So in this position, you really want to play like e3 at some point to get a nice pawn chain and to open this diagonal for our light square bishop so that then we can castle. So you could see how this move is so much more efficient than bringing the bishop back. Now we have to make an additional pawn move to bring this bishop up and then castle. And the pawns are, this pawn is kind of a weakness now. It's disconnected a little bit. So yeah, not the end of the world, but from a positional standpoint, those are the reasons why I'm not a fan of this move. And then our opponent does the same thing, so shame on them. Same problems in my opinion. Blocking the development of blocking the advancement of the central pawn and blocking the development of the light square bishop. Takes. Okay. And now here, Ray moved the bishop again. So again, Ray, if you remember, I mean, this game was also from a long time ago. And also a quick apology to Ray. I'm really sorry that this took me so long to get this video out. Ray and I communicated over Reddit like 8 months ago. Yeah, I had some health issues and stuff that have been getting in the way. I've talked a bit about it on the channel before, but thank you so much for your patience. I'm sorry, I know it's probably not that helpful now to give you these videos, but if you have any more recent games that you want to send to me and have me make another video on those, I'm more than happy. I'd be excited to do that. So just let me know. So Ray, if you remember why you did this move, let us know down in the comments. Maybe now you realize, oh, I want to move this pawn and get the bishop out. There are two problems here. One is that after Black's last move, they actually had a threat here to win this pawn. So that's problem number one was, okay, we got to make sure we really check for the opponent's threats. Problem number two is just we're moving this bishop again now, which is further delaying the development of our other pieces. So better move here, I think knight c3, and yeah, computer says knight c3 is the best move. Developing and defending this pawn at the same time. So thematically, I think that's definitely the best move here. You could also play something like c3. Yeah, computer says c3 is also good, just to blunt the bishop there. But play continues. And this is a bit of a disaster because, yeah, the rook is now trapped. But when something bad happens in chess, guys, just take a breath, reset, reassess the board with fresh eyes. Like, okay, now I got to like double down even more on my concentration, try to play good moves, try to develop the pieces, try to make threats on my opponent. So Ray takes here, which probably wasn't the best move. It is tough to find moves here, but probably knight d2. That way, after Black takes, we at least recapture the bishop. As played, we allow the queen to come out. So we've kind of helped Black develop by taking the knight. And even if we move the knight now, we're still losing this rook outright now because we can't recapture since the queen defends. So a little bit nasty now. It's getting a little bit nasty. So finally, we move the e-pawn, freeing up the diagonals for the bishop and the queen. But, you know, now we're down a full rook, a rook plus a pawn. So pretty much game over, quote unquote. But you guys always never give up, keep fighting, keep developing the pieces, see if you can get a back rank mate, see if you can get something going. So I definitely commend Ray for not resigning here. Keep playing your games out. I like that we're moving the bishop out here. It's probably better to maybe go bishop c4 here. This is a subtle point, but if there's not like a pin on this diagonal, like if there's not a knight here and there's not some sort of pin or something, it's generally not as good to be on this square. And you can just get chased away more easily. Whereas if you go like bishop c4 or maybe even bishop d3, bishop c4 is just kind of a better diagonal. This is pointed at a weakness in Black's camp. And bishop d3 would also be fine because you're just kind of like solidifying your pawn chain here and just trying to play solid and get the king safe. So those were other options. Play continues. Okay, Black retreats, threatening mate. Mate on the move. White wisely castles. Defending against the mate. Black castles. Bringing the knight out. I like it. So yeah, now we're finally mobilizing the pieces. We are rook down now, so very uphill battle, but I like what I'm seeing. And now we kind of see the problem with this bishop in this location. So after c6, Black is getting a tempo on this bishop. The bishop moves, and then they're able to play d5. So because of our bishop's location, we kind of just helped them to do what they wanted to do. But this actually does open up the diagonal for our bishop to their king. So, it's not all bad. Okay, now I like the spirit of rook e1 in this position, trying to get the rook on the open file. The problem is that black has a threat here. Black is now going to take on f2 with check. Pretty problematic. However, they missed it, so we got lucky on this one. But this is another one where you'll just see this over time. You'll get better at avoiding these types of blunders, but they'll still happen. They still happen to me occasionally. And but one thing that will help is asking yourself, is really visualizing, okay, I'm going to move the rook here. What can my opponent do in response? Do they have any threats? Try to visualize and try to see if they have anything against you. Okay, now black goes for maybe a crazy sacrifice, sort of. But then they get this battery. And they are threatening to check you, but we can escape. But Ray decides to go for a4 here. And I don't think this is quite the right spirit. I think we want to untangle a little bit more and get our knight out and then get our king a little bit safe. So I think knight f3 is like basically mandatory here, defending this square. So now black doesn't have this idea anymore. And the knight is just better placed here, pressuring, threatening to take the bishop, actually. So yeah, I think this was a very key developing move that would have helped a lot. Play continues. And in this position, you have two options here. Which way do you guys want to move the king? One way moves basically immediately. So if you said king to g1, now it's mate in 4. This is a really nice combo. It comes up a lot. So black to play mate in 4. See if you can find it. So it's not check because the king's just going to run. It's check with the bishop. Only move, king has to come to the corner. Discovered check with the queen. King has to move. Now we go for the check because the bishop is aiding support of this square. Checkmate. A very common pattern. So yeah, this is a very dangerous attack by black. Another reason why bringing the knight here and preventing this in the first place would have been really much would have been strong or helpful. So back to the game. But I mean, you can just see how awkward white's pieces are here. The king is just they're all in each other's way. The king is in front. This rook might come to the open file. It's very uncomfortable here. Yeah, that's the next move by black. And black's now threatening, like, discovered check. It's almost mate here, so I think Ray just doesn't know what to do at this point. So pushing the pawn, check, and basically game over. Here, I mean, the king is still paralyzed. You just can't move like anywhere. All of those squares are covered. So yeah, computer says mate in 10. I guess they're saying bishop c4. Okay, yeah, get the bishop out of the way so it doesn't get captured, and that way this pawn is kind of your shield. So that's how we could have fought for another, few moves. But as played, Ray decided to go after the queen, and then black has a crazy mate here, mate in 1. See if you guys can find the mate in 1. You ready? E takes d3, double check, checkmate. So double check, the queen defends here, the bishop controls this, and the queen controls this. So somehow, Ray, your opponents are finding the nastiest mates against you. So I mean, props to your opponents. But let's talk about some solutions or some things to take away from this game. So as we said, the themes of this game were, I think we really need more efficient development, and also let's check the opponent's threats a little bit better. So main solutions, honestly, just keep watching good educational videos. I think that's really the biggest bang for buck especially at like the lower elo levels. Like if you're below 1,000, like generally the newer you are with anything, the more valuable like teaching and coaching is going to be at that early phase, because you just haven't been exposed to enough ideas yet. I just released my first 2 episodes of my Chess Strategies 101 series. And I think, Ray, some of these videos would be very helpful for you as well. They're probably concepts you've seen before, but it's like control the center, develop the pieces, try to castle. They're things you've seen before, but there's more examples, like really demonstrating those. And I think this subscriber games playlist is also going to be really great for people, below 1,000 elo who want to see real games in practice and see like what a coach would say about games at their level. You could also check out Daniel Naroditsky has an amazing speedrun series. I don't know if it would be a little too advanced or not for people below like 1,000 elo. If any of you guys are in that rating range and found it helpful, let us know down below if you have any experience with it, if you felt like it was great or if you felt like it was too hard. But that series is amazing. But in general, it doesn't matter if you watch these or whatever it is you watch. Just find like a YouTuber you resonate with who's great at teaching and helps you think about chess in a stronger way. I know you mentioned Chessbra and Anna Kramling. I know Anna Kramling, I know they both do a lot of entertainment stuff, but also some strategy. If you're just watching the entertainment stuff, it might not always help you be better at chess because they are on such a high level, you know what I mean? But they do have some educational stuff as well. So whatever you're watching on YouTube, if it's educational, if someone's explaining, here are the fundamentals, here's why I'm doing this, here's some things to think about, then you're in the right place. So today's conclusions, what I want to emphasize to anyone watching this is to continue having fun with chess. And what I would say to Ray, it sounds like you maybe got a little discouraged after, a few losses, which is totally understandable. I've been there. But it also sounds to me like you have a genuine interest in chess. So keep having fun with it. Just keep playing, keep enjoying it. And if you keep watching good educational YouTube content, I promise you will continue to get better. Just be patient. Just don't pay attention to your actual rating number too much. Just keep learning and improving. And over time, that number will go up and it'll feel good and you'll be having fun while doing it. So that's it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. If you have any games you want to send me an email. And until next time, thanks a lot.